Conference realignment has ruined college football, which is why the first thing I did when I got college football 26 was fix the conferences. Starting off with the American, where I ransacked the ACC and tried to bring the Big East back to its former glory. Some of you might be too young to remember this, but before we had the Power 4 or the Power 5, we had the Power 6 with the Big East. In the ACC, the first thing I did was send Cal, Stanford, and SMU as far away from the Atlantic Coast Conference as possible. I brought in another Carolina school with East Carolina, another Florida school with former national champions UCF, and a friendly face in Maryland. We simply cannot have the West Coast schools anywhere near the Big Ten. This should have never happened, and I'll be damned if I let it exist in my dynasty. While I'm happy with this Big Ten, I'm sad to report that I could only get it down to 11 teams, so the name still doesn't make any sense. The Big 12 might be the easiest out of all the conferences to rebuild. Despite spending years in the Big Ten and the SEC, schools like Missouri, Nebraska, and Texas A&M still feel like Big 12 schools to me. And don't even get me started how egregious it was for Texas and Oklahoma to leave the Big 12. In the end, this is a 16-team Big 12 that makes sense to me, made up largely of former Big 8 and Southwest Conference schools. Conference USA gets a couple of homecomings from former schools that had seemingly outgrown the conference, but don't quite really fit into my new Power 6 setup. For the independents, we're letting the service academies schedule whoever they want, and for historic purposes, we have to leave Notre Dame here. But if you're geographically inclined to put Notre Dame in the Big 10, I don't hate it. The MAC is actually entirely unchanged. Surprise, we're not destroying Mountain West basketball to create a neutered Pac-12. We're actually just strengthening the Mountain West by bringing in former WAC member New Mexico State and the two up-and-coming Texas schools, UTEP and UTSA. But most importantly, here's my Pac-12. While I did like Colorado in the Pac-12, I think the Big 12 makes more sense for them historically, so I've replaced them with Utah's rival BYU, which then makes for the most perfectly balanced conference in all of college football. 12 schools, every geographic area has 2 schools in it. All of those pairs of schools are each other's biggest rival. Literally what college football should be. You might have noticed Georgia Tech wasn't in the ACC earlier, and that's because I went ahead and added original SEC charter members Georgia Tech and Tulane back into the SEC. I would add original charter members Sewanee as well, but they're not in the game. Finally, the Sun Belt remains largely unchanged, but we add Florida Atlantic. Let me know what changes you're making to the conferences in college football 26 down below in the comments.